I'd like to call this meeting to order. Present are Richard Morrell, Doug Lee, Pete Shalecki, Nicholas Fortson, Dean Nason, and Brandon Hyde. We have a quorum. Anyone wish to talk about the meeting minutes from last month? 2 months ago now, September 12th. Is there a motion to approve?
I'll make a motion. But last, an alternative today or
CC did.
Oh, yeah, that's up to you.
Let's see, there should be 5 of us.
Yep.
And there are 6 present. So who would be senior? Mr. Fortson, so you would be seated tonight.
okay.
Once again, is there a motion to approve
I'll make the motion to approve.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Pete, aye.
Doug? There is a majority, so moved, so approved.
I abstain. That wasn't him.
Yes. Communications, Dan?
I just got in today the Eastern Connecticut Conservation District Annual Report. It's a small brochure. I can scan it and share it with people if you'd like. That's all.
Okay. Old business, IWWCC number 24-12, 70 Antic Lane.
I think you have, that's last month.
Oh, last month, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Okay, old business, new business, IWWCC number 2501, 173 Old Canterbury Turnpike.
So this is a jurisdictional ruling, and Dave McKay is here. It's for a subdivision that has wetlands in the extreme rear of the property and the low activity in the wetlands or the upland, but if you're inclined, Dave's here to present.
Good evening. My name is Dave McKay with Boundaries LLC, here on behalf of the property owner and applicant Karen Doty. As Dan mentioned, this is a proposed 2-lot subdivision. We're requesting a jurisdictional ruling from the commission to be forwarded to the commission on the city plan because there is an intermittent water course with associated wetlands located at the rear of this property. It's a proposed 2-lot subdivision. This parcel is 7.5 acres in the R40 zone with an existing house that will remain on the frontage lot and a proposed rear lot that will contain the intermittent water course and wetlands. This next sheet is the conceptual development plan. The actual wetland area is cut off, but this green line is the limit of the 100-foot upland review area. All of the development activity is consistent of the driveway to access the rear lot, development of the house site, and then the proposed septic system, with the limit of clearing for that septic system being about 150 feet away from the limits of that wetlands. Proposed standard erosion controls for the development of the property with sediment fence at the limits of disturbance, and all of these disturbed areas would be vegetated with maintained lawn at the end of development for the property. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I looked over all the documents. I have no question.
Everything's
This is
outside.
Doug. I have no questions.
That being said, there are no further comments. Anybody like to make a motion?
Dean Nason, I'll make a motion for approval.
It would be
Any
a
stipulations?
Jurisdictional.
jurisdictional ruling that
Jurisdictional ruling.
because everything's outside of the wetlands.
Everything's outside of the
So
wetlands.
it's-
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
Unanimous, so moved, so approved. Thank you.
Thanks for your time this evening.
Thanks.
Yeah. Good luck. Thanks very much. We, see you all again sometime.
Stay warm.
We'll see you at CCP.
Actually, John will be covering that meeting.
All right,
I'm gonna
well-
be out of town that night.
Thank you.
No, Jake is a coworker.
Other business
Nope.
violations.
Yeah, we have a show cause hearing tonight for an unauthorized land disturbance in the upland review area at 18 Brownwood Lane in Norwich. It's assessor's map 52, block 1, lot 61, zone R40. And it was brought to my attention that a pond had been created on the lot. And you could see it on the satellite images over the years. So that was the current one, and this is 2022. It doesn't exist. But the drainage has been rerouted. This Public Works put in some drainage. That's been kind of rerouted to fill the pond property. Sorry, I'm getting over a sinus infection here, so my voice is in and out. So right where the cursor is here.
Yeah.
So once you create a pond on your property, it's now under the commission's purview to regulate it.
Yep.
And there are wetlands and upland on the property, but they're to the back. You can see all the water flows down back in this area.
So Public Works created?
No,
Okay.
this part is Public Works drainage that comes off of the cul-de-sac.
Okay.
And it's been kind of rerouted towards here.
Oh, okay.
Towards that, is that a stream bed behind the pond? Is that what I'm looking at?
I believe so, yes.
So Public Works,
The property owner is here to, if you have any.
okay,
any
I'm
questions.
just trying to understand.
Yeah. So from what I understand, this was created to send the water back.
Yep.
Towards the bottom of the property.
And whose property is that tannish section with, come from the top to the bottom that you saying it was
This
rerouted?
green line is the property
This is
line.
all his property.
This is the property in question with the pond, and then this
Yep.
is a separate parcel.
Okay, thank you.
So Dan, this is Doug. I'm still trying to get clarification on the Public Works part of this. So I understand that the Public Works portion, which is the part that is heading off to the left and towards the top of the picture before it makes the bend, that was put in by Public Works. Now, the rest of it, as it's arcing back onto the property in question, was that done by the homeowner, or was that just happenstance because Public Works terminated it at the top of the arc?
That I don't know, based on the evidence from the aerials here. It seems to have become more defined over the years. But perhaps the property owner can answer that question. So from what I understand, this, and if you can see the cursor moving it up, this
Yep.
was created by, there's a swale here, some stone to kind of send it that way. And then the topography all kind of slopes down.
So Public Works did that on his property.
Yes. Correct. Yes.
And the approximate date of when that work was done by Public Works?
It looks like there's a smaller pipe that comes out here. This is the 2016 aerial.
Yep.
And then we come to 2019. in 2022, so sometime between 2019 and 2022.
Splash pad.
They added the splash
All
pad.
right. So a splash pad's been added, and it looks like what has happened is that drainage has created its own water course. Is that correct?
That's what it seems like to me, yes. And I mean, this looks like there's been some riprap added here too. It's kind of a little
Yep.
more defined between 2019 and 2022.
And was that done by Public Works?
Was that part of the channel done by Public Works? Right where the cursor is here.
Yes.
They did that?
Yeah.
Yes. Probably up until about this point.
That's what it looks like.
If you want the exact date, I have pictures of that. It was done on October 15 in that area, like the time starting, I think they started around 14 or 15. And October 15 is when they finished it, and I have pictures of that riprap when it was fresh. If may I approach to that?
Sure.
I have pictures of that in here, and this is what was done, and this picture was taken on October 15, 2021.
2021.
May I say?
So I guess the reason, Dan, that we're all asking about this is we want to understand the scope of so the violation is the pond without permit. Correct, okay. And so I guess we need to understand if the pond came before or after the drainage work.
Do you want me to say something first before we?
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to understand the story here.
Yes, I'd like to know if the pond was created to capture some of the flow that was
Okay.
coming down, or you created the flow into the pond.
Neither. Pond is self-contained. It's not diverting or gathering any of the water that's made itself down there. It still continues down there.
Okay,
It has nothing to do with the pond. Your dam, correct?
Yes.
I don't know how your determination of a man-made pond. My pond is not like a pond that Norwich Public, like the Norwich Golf Course did. This is a water garden.
Okay,
It is right next to that little patio that you see right there,
right here.
right there. Yeah, so that's my summer garden, my vegetable garden. The one in the fence,
Right here.
right there, yeah. That's my vegetable garden. And right next to it in 2022, I made that little stone patio with all the stones that were found in my yard. They were all way down there. I brought them up, I made the patio, and I felt a little water feature as a part of my landscape would accentuate, bring in a nice ambience so that I can sit on the patio and enjoy my evenings or sunset. It's independently, it's self-sustained. I'm in the process of doing it. You have been there once. You've seen it from the distance.
Yeah.
That little, the creek that is coming closer to my driveway,
This one.
that one. And the other one, where the city terminated the swale over there. It's been decades of failure to maintain that water drainage easement by the public works. So that whole thing was full of, it had become almost level with the land. And everything that came out of the catch basin was getting spilled onto the property. there's one more thing I want to just bring it out, just for your awareness. Entire Scotland Road on the western side has no curbs. It's designed to be a sheet flow. And the water drainage, finally, when it reaches Brownwood Lane, they have catch basins. If I'm correct, there's about 4. The last one is right at the cul-de-sac, right there. And from there, there's that concrete pipe that goes right there. And from there, basically, I'm getting water from Scotland Road and the adjacent neighborhood properties, then gets to the Brownwood Lane and is now getting dumped on. We couldn't even walk or move and do anything there until almost June because it's so wet. So I begged and I pleaded and I talked to Brian Long. Oh, it took a few years finally to him to send somebody over, and they redid that easement. In the original easement, I mean, the original plan, which I don't have that one, but I do have the, this is 1984, October, that it was, if I want, I'll just pass it
Yeah,
on.
sure.
So that's the original site developers, Charler, Palmer, and King, that did it. It was surveyed in September '83, approved or signed October 6, '84. It shows the same wetlands that you were talking about. And right at the top, the one I had showed the Norwich City easement. Because I have too many easements in here, too many right-of-ways. We have Algonquin gas line. We have AT&T gas right after that. And then right at the cul-de-sac is the Norwich City drainage easement. So finally, they did come and did that, like I said, on October 15th was when it completed. I requested Brian at that time, if they could, instead of terminating it right there, and the topography, if you want, I have all the information if you want, but I'm
Well,
sure
I can turn
you can
the topo
just,
on.
you
here
just
for-
put it on right there. So if you put there you go. If you put the topography on it, you can see that naturally the water that got terminated right up top is flowing back towards my property. I requested, because of the Algonquin gas easement that goes right there, I asked them if they would, that grade line 262, that is past the gas, that's right there, yeah, right where your cursor is. That is, you may have to go a little higher. I think the one on the other side, there was 262.702 or whatever that you're showing me there.
264.
262.702.
Yeah,
This one?
yeah.
264.
yeah, right. So I think that is past the gas Algonquin right of way. And obviously, I'm like, there was limitations as to whether they would be able to dig there.
Right.
Because of the
gas
gas
line, yeah.
line. I requested Brian if he would continue it on the north end of that gas right of way, so that it would
That's
go join the wetlands right further up.
Mhm.
Brian said it is beyond the scope of what Norwich Public Works could do, and that's where he terminated. Okay, so then the water found its way. This area in the front where you see it there, that you were present on the day when you visited my
Up here.
property.
Yeah.
That is that little blackish area,
Right here?
down, no, next line over, right there. There was basically groundwater, right? Just flooding. Now I'm wondering, how could there be so much groundwater after the Norwich Public Works had already done their work? It's just like, literally, I can see it coming up. If I may show what I found, this picture is just from yesterday. This is a video that I just took yesterday. There is a clay pipe. Here, please pass it on.
That's the clay pipe there.
It's a video, so
We're coming to it, right there. Yeah. Okay.
so that made that that path.
Okay, this is,
Yesterday's temperatures were 28 degrees. And because that pipe, I even had Corbett come and put a camera through it. It went to no, like a dead end, like crushed, collapsed.
Mhm.
And while I was trying to like investigate to see how come I'm getting this much, and like then there is round river stones. When I started exploring, I see river stones coming up. So this is man-made. And when I saw it, it has a bend, the clay pipe, going, if you can go on the earlier, if not even reduce the transparency, you will see a silo.
How far back?
Right, you see where that basically the my property and his property, right there.
Yep.
Right there. If you want, I have this image shows the silo's presence right there. That was a barn and there's another silo. I can pass this around.
Was it
Right
previous
there,
to?
right, I think you can see that 276
Right here?
right here, right there. That's a silo. It's a farmer silo, two bins. And then, yeah,
Zoom in at all, Dan, or is that?
It's gonna disappear, that's the problem.
Oh, right.
So this is an old barn, kind of foundation?
Yeah.
no, that's not a foundation. That was a silo.
Okay.
That's a silo.
A bunker.
Yeah,
A bunk.
right. Two levels. I mean, two bins.
Yeah,
I don't know whether you call them bins or what.
They call them
And
bunks.
then you
Yeah.
see the barn, and then another silo right next to it.
Mm.
So once I found that thing, and I'm thinking it is straight across, so I had Corbett come by and he put the camera through. It ended up like 10 feet. We couldn't see anything anymore, and it wouldn't go anywhere. That's because it had an angle. The current picture that you saw is now, if I put a straight line, I think that in what, it might be in one of those. I think I put a pencil straight line right up top. That, to me, this is again my understanding. It is under the work Norwich Public Utilities, I'm sorry, Norwich Public Works did.
Goes up this
Even
way.
when they dug there, They couldn't find it. It's below. It's not on this one. There's one more. Anyway, if you want me to show, I will. You want me to show that?
No, I think that the main reason we're here is the pond. And if you're saying that the water from this intermittent water course from the drainage doesn't feed it,
No,
how did you get
it's
the water
a
in?
line pond.
That's
It has
lined?
a liner.
Okay,
So
It
it's
has a
separate,
line.
he just built the pond, but it's not fed by any of those.
No,
And what's,
it's away from everything,
what's the dimension of the pond?
right there. About 25 feet diameter,
Diameter.
how deep is it?
about 4 or 5 feet. I made a little, like, you can see like a little shelf area so that I can put like a waterfall in that left of that. And just, like sitting on the patio, I want to be able to see the waterfall. And on the shelf that you can see, I want to have lilies, lotuses, and just, like rock work, just to, so you can see clearly in that zoomed picture that there is no connection between any of that water flow and my pond.
So this right here is not
No,
a trench or
there is
anything?
no, I had to create that, that I think it's just a shadow right there. And that mound, I had to create, that one.
Mhm.
I had to create that mound with the soil that I got over so that the land slopes this way. So I made that mound using the soil that I got over there so that water wouldn't like flow off of it. So it has nothing to do with the topography that you're saying and the water flow that you're saying. In fact, because of what I just did, instead of all the water that is coming towards my patio and the garden is now going towards that, whatever channel it has made. And it's continuing down, and that's part of the wetland right
Right.
there.
So Dan, what's our regulation? If some people, I mean, people put fish ponds in all the time, right? At what size do we regulate if it's self-contained and lined? Is there any,
I don't
it's outside of
know.
our jurisdiction?
It feels like it if
Me
it's a
too. Okay.
landscape feature and
Yeah,
That is
the
exactly
main
what
reason
this
we're
is.
here.
Yeah. So Dan, this is Doug.
Yep.
The only, from a inland wetlands violation standpoint, the only question mark here is, did the installation of the pond take place inside a 100-foot upland review area?
I would say based off GIS alone, no.
It's self-contained.
So it
And I do
is
have the.
250 odd feet from, so
So this does not appear to qualify as a violation.
I would be in agreement
Yeah,
with that.
I agree with that as well.
I do have another printout from the,
You're good.
okay.
You're good.
Yeah.
Make it good, sort of one of those put by your head kind of thing.
I think this, yeah. This
So
is,
there's, I'll just remind you, you have three options. For the order to remain in effect, to revise it, or to withdraw it. And based on evidence presented,
And you're satisfied?
yeah, if
That is-
that's a landscape feature and you're saying that the water was not diverted from that intermittent water course that filled the pond,
Absolutely not.
I'm satisfied.
So this violation was internal or external? The report of the violation.
It was, well,
I
We had
do,
multiple calls
Okay.
about it
So,
from,
so external, okay.
Yeah.
I do have.
Which is why it
just
appears
a-
here.
okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're probably, you're good. So, yeah. So there's no violation, the way we see
You
it.
move to withdraw the violation.
Yeah, I move on behalf of the commission to withdraw the violation, seeing no violation as such.
This is Doug, second.
All in favor?
Doug, aye.
Pete, aye.
So moved.
thank you.
Thank
You're
you,
all set.
thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you giving me the opportunity.
You'll get a letter from me
Okay,
stating,
thank you, Dan. I have researched this. I have done a lot of time consuming work, and even right now I was prepared with everything. I don't want to violate anything. I was just trying to take care of my property.
Nothing wrong with that.
And is there one last question? Do I have what is my remediation of dealing with this clay pipe? Which is
that
now
is
directly
well
coming.
beyond our purview.
We should adjourn before any
Yeah.
conversation there.
All right, thank you.
So,
There's a motion to adjourn.
motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Unanimous, so moved.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
gentlemen, appreciate it.